The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of Melonie Yelvington and Kimberly Taylor and are for entertainment purposes only. We mean no disrespect to the victims nor their families. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to hit that subscribe and follow button and like us. Veil of Humanity is a weekly podcast where we give you a look behind the human-like mask killers wear. So let's dive on in. What is up, my crime crazy people? Welcome to Veil of Humanity. We are your hosts, Melonie Yelvington
and Kimberly Taylor. Before we get into the intro, I would like to go ahead and establish trigger warnings in place for this case. These will be for gun discussion, sexual assault, and rape.
And today we're bringing you a case of revenge for justice. In the fall of 2003, Kimberly Cunningham shot and killed the man who raped her daughter.
So grab your favorite beverage and a pillow to scream into as we get into this case. Okay, Biss, you ready for this?
I'm not sure. We'll find out why here in a minute.
I know this is going to be a tough one for you, as well as many others. So at age 9, Amanda Cunningham would experience something no child should ever experience. She told ABC News, "I remember I had my purple Little Mermaid shirt on, and he told me to take my clothes off. And I said no, so he took them off. The uncle, his name was Coy Hunley, who was the common law husband of her aunt, was drunk, and that was sadly not unusual at this point. He would then go on to rape her, and again in a few months. Her mother, Kimberly Cunningham, would not find out about all this until the fall of 2003. This would become the talk of the town in Knoxville, Tennessee. So when Kimberly found out, she got into her car, drove to the tool company that Coy worked for, and called him out to the parking lot. She hoped and prayed this man would deny the allegations. I guess at this point you probably would. You'd be like, I'm confronting you. I want you to deny this. I do not want this to be true.
Yeah. I need to hear it from you.
I need to hear you speak these words.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this did not happen. Instead, this asshole laughed at her. Huh? What are you going to do about it? He taunted her. What are you going to do about it?
I just got chills.
I did too. I've got full body chills
right,
with that.
All the way up my spine and into my neck.
That tingle.
Everywhere.
Oh my God. So what did she do? She took revenge. She pulled out her gun, shot him 4 times, reloaded, shot him another 4 times.
Good for her.
The laughter of Coy would haunt her for years.
Good for her.
That's all I can say. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Witnesses that were there claimed that she then got back in her car, left the scene calmly, even turned her blinker on and everything, followed the rules of the road. Ma'am, let me just...
Yes.
Right here.
Good job.
45 minutes later, she would turn herself into the Alcoa, Tennessee police. She handed over her revolver and reported a shooting. Kimberly later told ABC News, "The person who is a good mother and in control, and I'm a compassionate person, was completely gone."
I can relate.
You wouldn't believe how tiny she was, talking about her daughter at this point.
Mm-hmm.
She was 42 pounds. And for someone to do such vulgar things to her, there's no simple words to describe what happened. I just totally lost control.
Can totally relate.
I have no words because, wow.
It's not anything that you will forget.
No, and it's something.
When you first find out.
Yeah. So at this point, I can't blame her for losing control at all.
No way.
You know, I feel like most parents would do something to someone who hurts their baby.
Absolutely.
So you hurt my child, guess what I'm fixing to do to you?
Yep. Eye for an eye to me.
Yep. So on an audio tape by the police, Kimberly can be heard sobbing and saying, "He raped my baby." So she had obtained a gun permit and carried on her since August of 2003. This was after learning that Hunley's eldest son had molested her son Shane and her daughter Amanda.
Oh.
She did report this to the police, by the way. The Hunleys threatened her, and the police didn't do anything. No action was taken at this point.
Right.
She said that she was scared of their family. They wanted her to drop it, and kept telling her that it's going to come out of her ass if she didn't drop it.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Bring it.
Okay.
Come on, bring it. Let's do it.
Uh-uh.
She was also told repeatedly that they would never find her body. Seriously? You're the one going to be doing the threatening.
Yeah.
She would then go on to smash the nephew's windows out of frustration. And Hunley at this point goes, well, that makes the two families even. Not even fucking close, dude.
How does that make the two families even?
In his mind it did, because he did this, and that was her consequence, and she did this, and said, okay,
No.
well, we even now.
No.
So, for 5 years, Amanda would keep her secret. She became withdrawn and listless, which was very much noticed by her mother. After numerous fights, the truth would finally come out in the fall of 2003. Kimberly finally asked her, who's bothering you? And at that point, she was naming people off. And when she got to Coy's name, Amanda nodded her head yes. It was after this at McDonald's that her young son Shane would admit to being touched as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
McDonald's?
McDonald's. I read that too, and like I told y'all, this has been a hard case to write.
Man.
Yeah. So the mother would continue to press her daughter for details, but she was too embarrassed to speak about it. On October 6, 2003, that's when finally everything came out. And I'm going to put a huge, huge trigger warning out for this next part for everybody. All right, y'all. Everybody take a big, deep breath right now. Big breath in and out. Woosah.
Woosah.
So, this next part, it's not easy. So, Amanda told Kimberly that Hunley had forced oral sex to be performed when she was 9, and then he raped her. He then would rape her again and threaten her not to tell anybody. All this finally made sense to Kimberly. As her daughter dressed for school, her mother seemed to take on everything that happened, absorbing it all in. By the time she was at school, her attacker would be shot dead in a parking lot. This is every parent's worst nightmare. The case came down to the defense saying, what would you do if you were in her shoes? What would you do? I can't blame her for what she did.
I tried. Someone stopped me.
Yeah.
Believe me, I tried.
I know you can relate to this quite a bit, unfortunately. So, everything with the trial, she had really good lawyers. Alright, so let's talk about one of these jurors. Her name was Linda King.
Okay.
She was a retired secretary from General Motors Purchasing Department in Tennessee. She was the final holdout against a first-degree murder conviction for Kimberly in the first trial. So she told the ABC News that she was pressured by the 11-mother, one-father jury to convict Kimberly of first-degree murder. She said that she was called stupid and worse things. And at one point, the male foreman pounded his fist on the table in front of her and threatened to write a note to the judge saying that she was illogical, uncooperative, and could not see the light of day.
Oh. Wow.
We're all entitled to our own opinion. So this is her opinion, is that she should not get first-degree murder.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, she shouldn't. So, and that's exactly what he ended up doing, is what Miss King said. So, what began as a cordial deliberation in which several of the women felt Kimberly had acted in a moment of extreme passion and should not be charged with murder, devolved into a tense 11 versus 1 contest of wills. King said it got meaner and meaner, adding that as time passed, several of the jurors became nasty. You know what? You can go fuck yourself.
Wow. Mm. You can get nasty all you want.
But I'm still going to stand my ground.
Exactly.
So 2 other jurors had held out with her into the second day of deliberations, but eventually said, sided with the others.
Mm-hmm. Peer pressure.
Peer pressure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
King said that the other jurors told her that they would come down from first-degree murder, and so now I had to come up with voluntary manslaughter. Excuse me, I cannot English today. She said, I told them that's not how this works. It's not a compromise. This is someone's life we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I felt this family had been victimized enough, and they needed a chance to recover themselves, and that mother needed to be with those kids.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. I agree.
I do too.
I
do too.
The rest of the jury, unfortunately, were deeply skeptical of Kimberly's family. The jury kept telling her, that man is not here to defend himself. He shouldn't be.
No.
I said it. He should not be here. Sorry.
I'm with you on that.
But
once you know what they are,
you're gone.
I'd say done. You're done.
I'd like to say the prison system takes care of them, but unfortunately it doesn't always happen either.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you hear of it, but
yeah, but
not all the time.
Not all the time.
I know. I'd like to get some.
Oh, that'd be great justice, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So she said, I really felt that when this had happened the first time with Kimberly's nephew, that she had followed the law. She had tried to go through the system the first time, and I think she would have gone through the system again the second time unless Coy Hunley had reacted the way he did, laughing at her.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe if he wouldn't have laughed at her and like, what are you gonna do? But
yeah.
At the same time,
that was the wrong thing to say to her at that time.
One, she was already in that zone.
Yeah.
She was
already unstable.
Yeah, she was dealing with everything that
trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah. Because she found out that morning, and then, like I said, before her daughter was even at school, she shot him dead. Mm-hmm. So, the rest of the jury, like I said, they were just still really skeptical on the whole thing. And eventually, the tide began to turn. The jury finally voted to acquit Cunningham of first-degree murder, but became hopelessly deadlocked on second-degree murder. So a second trial at this point was ordered.
Okay.
So they said, it's wrong to kill somebody, but you want to protect your family.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
But, even in situations when you're, pumping gas, you're going about your daily life, you're minding your own business, and someone comes and tries to harm you to take your car. You have the right to do it right then as well.
There's a reason I carry.
Yeah.
There's a reason you carry.
Yeah.
I have it for self-defense. If someone were going to come at me, I have the right to defend myself.
That's right.
I know not everyone's going to agree with that, and I know that is a very controversial subject, but there is a reason I went and got my concealed license. Alright, so the first vote during deliberations in the second jury trial was relatively evenly split between convicting on second-degree murder and voluntary manslaughter. So, juror David Miles said, about the only thing we did have an issue with was whether it was premeditated or a spur-of-the-moment thing.
Okay.
I feel like that was, well,
how much time elapsed?
Not much time. Her daughter told her that morning, and then
that he was shot by the time she was in school.
Yeah, by the time she got to school, he was dead.
Yeah. So, I don't think it was premeditated just by that right there.
Because she went to him and said, "Hey, did you do this? I need the answer."
And then can you imagine going, what are you going to do about it?
And laughing.
And laughing at you?
Yeah, I guess my first instinct would go, pew.
Mm-mm-mm.
So David Miles, he said that the jury generally agreed from the start that vigilante justice had to be punished, but it was vexed when it came to deciding exactly how to punish a woman who had apparently been through what Kimberly had.
Yeah.
So I think the main feeling was that you shouldn't take justice into your own hands, he said. Before he added, but On the other side of the coin, if you were thrust into that situation, how would you react? Yes.
I think I would react the same way that she did, and it didn't happen for me because I had someone there who knew me well enough to
pull me back
and rein me in and keep me level-headed.
Thankfully. If not, we would not be doing this podcast. I'd be talking through you
We'd
through
be
glass.
doing it from prison.
That would be fun. Hey, Mel, can you tell us the prison
Video
stories?
calls, guys.
It'd be all recorded, don't worry.
Yeah, it's all recorded. Oh, Lord.
So, he said you were brought up that you're supposed to protect your family at all cost. Mm-hmm. So it's really kind of a mixed thing. Which it truly is. Because, yeah, your first instinct is, I need to protect my child. I need to protect my family. Yeah. This is what I got to do.
Yeah.
She did what needed to be done.
I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
She got what she needed.
He said he felt that what swayed the second jury toward a voluntary manslaughter charge was the mitigating factor that Kimberly feared Hundley, who had allegedly threatened Kimberly after she went to the police to complain that the son had molested her children.
Mm-hmm.
Not children.
Yeah.
And the son should be somewhere too.
Yep.
Being a father myself, it was very difficult because I wasn't sure. I wouldn't have done the same thing, said Miles. You know, it's wrong to kill somebody, but you want to protect your family. And I felt that's where she was at. She felt she was at the end of her rope. She'd been dealing with threats and intimidation for several months. And when she got that latest piece of news, it just broke her spirit.
Yep.
And she felt she had to take care of it.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am, you did.
I
said,
yes, ma'am, you did take care of it. You took care of it.
So another juror from the second trial, her name was Brenda Newman. She also retired 3 years from her job at a bank, said she knew from the start that she would have to force herself to put her personal feelings aside and follow the letter of the law.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the law would be first priority, she told ABC News, and that I could not act on my own feelings. I knew I had to separate the way I felt, as to what I might have done from what the law is. So I focused in on that the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very difficult. She said, I could relate to her, especially as a mother. But like I said, I wanted everything to be completely fair because I knew I had to live with it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she felt helpless and that she was trying to protect her children. I did not feel like it was planned out. I felt like it was just a moment of passion.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like Miles and other jurors from the second trial who spoke to ABC News, Newman said that the jurors were adamant that they reach a conclusion on the charges in order to spare Kimberly's obviously damaged children from having to take the stand a third time in a third trial.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in there agreed that we needed to come to a decision, but we agreed that it had to be one everybody could live with.
Yeah.
All right. So with the first trial, it took 14 hours of deliberation, and a Blount County jury on Friday acquitted her who killed her daughter's alleged rape as a first-degree murder. But she was not in the clear. You know, they were relieved that because Mom got to go home that night when they announced the announcement. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone was happy. It was huge that they rendered a not guilty verdict on first-degree murder by eliminating first. So then they went to start the new trial.
What's different?
So they said the difference is vast. A conviction on first-degree murder would have netted Cunningham a minimum of 51-year prison term, but the maximum sentence for second-degree murder is 25 years.
She shouldn't serve one single solitary second in there.
No.
In my opinion.
No, she shouldn't have. So the DA, they argue that Cunningham went to Hundley's workplace armed and planning to kill him, and pointed out the fact that she emptied her 5-shot revolver and then reloaded and emptied the gun a second time in the fatal shooting. What?
Oh, damn.
A pedophile gone from this world.
One less.
One less, yes. So, you know, her relatives of Hundley, they didn't, you know, say anything during this trial. They kept their mouths shut, as they should.
Mm-hmm.
So she testified on the day of the fatal that on the day of the fatal shooting that she'd learned that Hundley had allegedly raped her youngest daughter, she contended she only went to his workplace to confront him. So that right there tells me that's not planned. That was in the moment murder. That wasn't premeditated. So
you can't say if I was, concealed carrying and I'm allowed to, and I have a confrontation with someone, and it just so happens that they get shot. I didn't plan that.
No,
you don't ever plan to go out and use your weapon on somebody unless you're committing crimes.
Unless you are a serial killer or murderer, but at this point, this was
killing him wasn't on her mind. I don't think.
No, I think she wanted him to say, "No, I did not do that."
Yeah, she wanted answers.
She wanted the answers to everything, and he gave her the wrong one.
Absolutely. Oh, he really gave her the right one so she could pull off what she needed to do.
That's true.
I don't mean pull off, but,
I know what you mean.
Damn. You don't say that to a woman who just found that out, man.
No.
Man.
Because she testified that he laughed and mocked her. She insisted that she did not remember killing him, which I'm pretty sure she didn't. A lot of these killings, they do not remember that moment because it's almost like a second nature. You know what? I'm just going to
it just takes over you. It's overwhelming, I'm sure.
Yeah, she was already zoned out. Her head was in a different space. You're in a totally different mood at this point.
Yeah.
So she testified that she was already grappling with allegations that Hundley's teenage son had molested the same daughter and her son. And she'd gotten a permit to carry a gun after he had threatened her over these allegations.
He should have kept his mouth shut.
Yep. So the jurors were urged to acquit Cunningham of any homicide charge, arguing that she was in a trance-like state and unaware of what she was doing. She was.
I totally agree. I think I was close to out of my mind.
I agree with that.
It became obsessive for me.
Yeah.
And
with your circumstances, things, there's a lot that I'm surprised that didn't happen. I'm glad you were held back, though. I've seen you try to fight. I've held you back myself before.
But don't get me wrong. I mean, the person and people that are holding me back, they want the same kind of justice.
I know.
They're there. They're there with me, but they're just saying, no, it's not right, not the right way.
There's a lot of people that want that justice.
Mm-hmm.
So, the trial, this was a very emotional one. This case is just horrific. With the youngest daughter and the son, they both testified about the alleged molestation. Her husband of 18 years buried his head in his hands during his children's testimony.
Mm.
I can't imagine how to listen to that. Emotions ran even higher when just 2 hours after deliberations began, jurors told Thomasade a question. Does Tennessee have a death penalty?
Well,
Tennessee does have the death penalty, but they weren't seeking that in the case.
Right, so I wonder why they were asking that.
Probably just another option because they were getting stuck.
Hmm.
So it took until 6:30 p.m. on a Friday for them to get that decision. They considered the acquittal a victory, and the lawyer was shocked that the issue of premeditation was even up for debate. He argued that at worst, Cunningham could be convicted of voluntary manslaughter.
Yeah.
Which is the killing of a person in the heat of passion. He said, it still stuns me that when a mother is told her daughter was raped, that a jury wouldn't consider that in the heat of passion in terms of the shooting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think in the heat of passion, they're thinking like she would have had the right to do that had she walked in on him doing it. That would have been in the heat of passion. I walked in on it and saw it, and I went and got a gun. That to me is heat of passion.
That right there is automatic death, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, one shot, one kill.
Yep, right there. Although I'm all about a little bit of torture, but that's just me saying that. Alright, so under Tennessee law, there is no one-size-fits-all definition of murder.
Okay.
Instead, there are degrees with each carrying different penalties. The difference revolve around how culpable a person is for a death.
Okay.
So let's talk about it like this. So a person who plots to kill someone, the so-called cold-blooded killer, rates the highest charge and the toughest penalty. Next will come second-degree murder. in which a person did not plan a slaying, but knew exactly what they were doing when committing the murder.
Yep.
Voluntary manslaughter is the killing of someone in the heat of passion. Say, the man who finds his wife in a compromising position with his best friend and kills them in an eruption of fury is the most example. So reckless homicide and criminally negligent homicide involve cases where a person's conduct causes death, though that person did not intend to kill anyone. Okay. So they set a May 17th status conference on Cunningham's case to determine if prosecutors will seek a trial on second-degree murder charges or if the case can be resolved. This was back in 2005, by the way.
Right.
If the case can be resolved with a plea agreement. Her lawyer and the family of Kimberly, they gathered for a hug in front of the courtroom when she was acquitted of first-degree murder and the slaying of Hundley. I don't even like saying his name. So it was October 28th of 2005. This is when the second jury came around. So she was charged in the shooting death of him, but was found guilty of a lesser charge. The jury deliberated for 7 hours before finding Kimberly guilty of voluntary manslaughter and the death of Coy Hundley. They said that she was not guilty of second-degree murder. So, with voluntary, that carried a sentence of 3 to 6 years in prison or probation. So, the jury that handled the case in the trial, it was, her second time to be on trial after she'd been acquitted.
Yeah.
She did admit in both trials that she shot him, but said it was in a moment of rage after she'd just learned of everything.
Yeah.
Because it started when her daughter was 9. And so
her daughter was probably what at this age? 16?
This was a few years. 2003 to 2005. Or no, this started she found out in 2003.
Okay, so she was 16 years old.
Yeah.
When they went to court then.
Yeah.
And it had been going on already for 7 years.
Yeah, it had been going on for a long time. Plus, you add her younger son into it.
And plus, you have her thinking back on stuff. In hindsight's 2020,
Yep, looking at all the clues of everything and just going, oh, shit.
I did the exact same thing.
She said she lost herself. She just doesn't remember pulling the trigger.
Yeah. All
right, let's talk about this sentencing phase.
Okay.
So, she was found guilty in the shooting death of a man. And she was sentenced to 4 years in prison. They did find her guilty of voluntary manslaughter. They said it carries a sentence of 3 to 6 years, like I was saying. So, but the family, Hundley's family, decided to comment at this point. They decided they had something to say.
Okay.
They asked that she receive the maximum 6 years, but the court ruled for less. She got 4. So Hundley's mother said the punishment is not enough. Not enough. I guess I will have to settle with what they give her. I would like to have seen her get life because she did kill my son in cold blood. He wasn't guilty of what she said. They had no proof whatsoever. You had proof. It's right there in front of you. I understand a mother's going to believe their child, but ma'am, your son did something horrible.
Not just one time either.
No, it wasn't a one-time thing.
It was over and over
and that's not forgiving either.
No.
I don't care if it was one time. That's not forgiving either.
No, it's not.
So Cunningham and her family were overwhelmed with emotion as they left the courtroom. They said, I feel really hurt because both sides, nobody won. Nobody wins in this. Which, honestly, nobody does win. But Cunningham broke down in tears when her daughter took the stand. And she told the court she wished she'd never told her mother her uncle raped her. She also blamed herself for her mother's trouble. Baby, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Not in the slightest.
I wish I could give her a hug. Yeah, she was 16. One of Cunningham's sisters also took the stand for the defense. She's remorseful over Coy's death, and she's concerned about her children and how they're going to get through this.
Yeah.
But the judge at this, he did agree that learning of the daughter's rape caused Cunningham to act irrationally. However, he believes she needs to serve time for her crime. He said, "You shot Mr. Hundley by the car, and then he fell back, and while he was wounded, crawling across the parking lot, you reloaded, went out, and shot him 3 times in the head." I mean...
Okay, I'll give you that. If that's what she did, that's what she did. I mean...
Okay. So, she was given 4 years, but she only served 6 months. She had a very reduced sentence. Unfortunately, Kimberly Cunningham did pass away in June of 2010. And I will make sure that we share the Find a Grave website if Faye wants to leave a nice comment for her and the family and just say, hey, just wanted to send some love, and we'll send that out.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So we'll make sure to share that out on our social medias. All right, everybody. Everybody take a big deep breath. Breathe it out. Woosah.
Woosah.
It's a case that hits home.
Very, very close to home.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody for listening, for being fans, giving us the time of day. We appreciate it.
And we're almost to 1,000 downloads, right?
We are.
So exciting.
It is. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you all very, very much.
We so appreciate it. We wanted to do this out of fun, and it's kind of grown, and it's neat. So thank you.
Yeah.
All right, my crime crazy people, we will be back next week with a brand new episode. To see all of our source material, please consult the show notes. Don't forget to click that subscribe follow button and follow us on our social media at Veil of Humanity Podcast, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We're also on TikTok. Give us a follow and a like. Hosted by Kimberly Taylor and Melonie Yelvington. Produced, edited, and music by Courtney Santos. A Bronc Bay Production. Okay, Bronc. Tell them we'll see them again next week.
Hmm?